Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about the overall crypto market. So sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I do just want to ask guys, could please hit that like button. It does help the channel grow immensely, and of course I always do greatly appreciate it. So let's just dive in. Let's talk about a few things. So I'm gonna refresh, make sure everything is up to date. So yesterday when I made my XRP video, I told you guys the warning signs ahead, especially with for example, the dollar gaining some momentum while the Bitcoin price chart was showing a ton of weakness. And of course, today we have that nice impulse in the market as Bitcoin is down about 4.41%. The overall crypto market cap is down about 4.10%. And of course, altcoins are taking, a little bit of a hit right now. So on the 24-hour span, we still see some altcoins like Waves is up, but ultimately the gains diminish greatly after that. Most of them are in the red today, with a ton of them being double digit figures, if you will. I know that on the top 100 a lot of them aren't double digit figures, but I was looking through a few exchanges earlier today, and a ton of them were down like 10+%. Of course, a few ones that I have been really kind of paying attention to and really looking at are down today, but I'm not going to be too concerned on that. I definitely am paying attention more so to possibly swing trading a lot of these opportunities that we do get in this market, as we do kind of range on sideways, specifically on Bitcoin. But with this in mind, I do want to talk to guys about a few things happening around this current market. So obviously we are still in extreme fear levels, and we have been addressing this for a little bit now, but we have been in extreme fear levels for the past couple weeks, and we are officially in June. We officially are in the summer months of crypto, and usually these are not the best times to be in crypto. But to me, I think that as we are really kind of watching the market and we're watching the charts, I don't mind taking small positions and averaging in, just in case there is a major move within this market. Everybody has been paying attention to a major, for example, bear swing, if you will, a bear market rally. But to me, it's hard to say exactly where we are going to go because of how uncertain everyone actually is around crypto. To me, I'm still waiting for that wave 5, and I do believe that we will get that wave 5, and I've talked to you guys about it, and I have addressed it as well. Now, when I say that I'm taking some positions, it's totally okay to be a little bit more cautious here, especially if you don't have a ton of capital to really kind of invest in, or maybe you're down significantly on your portfolio. I would be patient and wait, as we most likely will see a lot lower prices throughout the altcoin market. And I've addressed that as well in terms of how we are ranging here with Bitcoin dominance being so high. Now, I think that the major uncertain, area comes from this. So stagflation threat soars as manufacturing survey shows, soaring costs, weaker jobs. We're basically seeing a weaker economy. We're seeing, inflation continuing to make its, way into the spotlight. I think that everybody is really kind of concerned on the macro view around economic structure, and I think that everybody's just waiting for the same exact thing to happen. I think everybody's waiting for us to go into a recession, have this massive crash, and I just think that everybody is waiting for it at the same exact time, and I think that everybody thinks that, that's it. Like, we're in a bear market until that happens. It's going to get even worse. Nothing's going to happen until then, and I think that that is a very poor way of actually looking at it. Trust me, yes, I do believe that we are in a very bearish structure. I think that when we talk about, the price chart and things like that, I think that, ultimately we're in this sort of mid-cycle correction. I wouldn't say it's exactly 100% a bear market. There's been many bear markets, if you actually think about it, as everyone has called for a bear market before in this market, specifically around summer of 2021. And those were most of the opportunities that gave us 10, 30, 50x gains on altcoins like LCX, QNT, XRP even. So to me, again, I think that we are at an incredible moment in time to really kind of step back and think, all right, should I follow everybody else and what they are doing, or should I just do my own thing and really kind of think for myself? Because I think right now is that moment in time where you need to start thinking for yourself and really address where we currently are. In my opinion, as we are really kind of looking at things, I definitely am paying attention to things like this, right? Where the majority are bullish and greedy, you should start leaning bearish and fearful. Bitcoin, when the majority are bearish and fearful, you should start leaning bullish and greedy. Today, majority are bearish and fearful, you should start leaning towards blank and blank. You really need to think about this logically, because to me, I think that we are in a very uncertain market where people don't want to, buy because they are fearful of what the next major move is. And I think that as long as you continue to play into that, you're really not going to be buying any significant lows. You're going to be buying the highs, or you're going to be buying pumps. Now, of course, right now I would not be a buyer at all. Most of my, positions that I took in terms of small positions were back in the beginning of May when we really took that major dip down. Of course, I was in profit on a lot of those positions, and I actually took a little bit of profit off the top of them. But I'm still playing into like my graph position that I do have for those individuals out there that have been paying attention to the graph position. And I also still do hold my chain link. My chain link is still being held. I feel confident holding those. Even if they do go down another 25% from my entry points, I'm still confident to hold those, especially even long term. So I'm not too worried at all on that. But I also do want to talk to you guys about things happening right now around crypto. I mean, as everybody is bearish, we are still seeing some incredible news happening. For an example, news, South Korea to invest $177 million into the development of the metaverse. This was quickly followed up by JP Morgan saying, focus on digital banking has never been higher. Followed by, of course, JP Morgan partners with Singapore Central Bank in a tokenization pilot for DeFi on a public blockchain. Tokenized bonds and deposits will be used in a permission liquidity pool for DeFi transactions involving borrowing and lending on a public blockchain. The solution is not targeted at retail investors, so it will only be available in the wholesale market. So again, you need to pay attention to things that are happening. I mean, these are, use cases being built out for institutional players through DeFi and things like that. In my opinion, I think that we're going to continue to see a ton of adoption happening for crypto, no matter at what price we are. You got to remember that price doesn't exactly equal, adoption. Price is not adoption at all taking, place. I think that we are extremely early. In fact, I think that when we look at things happening around the internet and around crypto, I think that we are extremely early in the adoption cycle of crypto. And I'm really looking forward to seeing us hit some significant highs in terms of total users in crypto. Obviously, at some point in time, we will reach that point in time where, crypto basically becomes over-adopted, and the gains are no longer as incredible as they once were. And I think that we will get to that point. But I also look forward to crypto basically becoming a traditional asset class, if you will. We've heard Kevin O'Leary talk about, crypto basically becoming the, next sector of the S&P 500. And honestly, it could very well be possible. When we talk about things happening around crypto, everyone is just focused on price, bull and bear market. Excuse me. But I want you guys to understand that it's not just all about price action. Of course, if you are a day trader, 100% that does matter. And even if you are a hodler, it does matter too, because you still want to make gains so that you could reutilize those gains to reinvest on the lows. It does matter when you are really kind of looking at this market and you don't really know what you are doing. I think that everyone should 100% be studying the charts here and there and really kind of learning more about them, because not everyone, including myself, can really kind of take you step by step to learn everything about the charts and things like that. But I definitely will say this: pay attention to things happening around crypto adoption, because it really kind of does help you no matter what the price actually is. Now, also, a few people have definitely been paying attention to, the silver market and kind of comparing it to altcoins. For an example, Bitcoin Fuel did this. We do see altcoins versus silver, 3 to 5 years of similar market structure. Altcoins are about to start an insane blow-off top rally according to the structural comparison after the top 90 to 95% crash. Now, It's hard to say if we're going to see this massive altcoin rally just yet. I still think that we are going to be watching, Bitcoin a little bit closely now compared to altcoins. Of course, you guys do see the similar structure here in terms of silver, and then you also do see, altcoins. Basically, right now, if we are talking about altcoins topping out, it's roughly between that 1.2 to 2.2 trillion dollar market cap area, and it does make sense. It definitely does, but it's hard to say exactly when that's going to happen. And the topping point for this is essentially October. Within that October timeframe. So if we do see that major, rally, it's going to be something pretty interesting. Now, of course, a lot of people are definitely concerned about where we currently are right now within the altcoin market, and a lot of people have been trying to say like, all right, well, right now we're about to do this massive rally from the altcoin bottom. But to me, there's only so much that you could really kind of address within this structure until you get to that point where, like, all right, well, if we're going to have this massive blow off top rally, what is Bitcoin going to do? And I've addressed to you guys Bitcoin, right? In fact, shout out to Tech Dev, because Tech Dev's really kind of, talking to us a little bit about the RSI channel on Bitcoin here. But we're seeing, weekly RSI wedge has bound the last 23 months of Bitcoin's price action, just as an RSI channel bounded the 15 months before. Break and retest of the channel confirmed the end of its correction. And, if we're talking about the end of this correction that we're basically in, we're talking about this ABC correction that is possible right now. And this would be a very similar structure to going back as far as like 2020 in terms of that March timeframe, where we did see that ABC correction followed by that massive impulse to the top. Now, if we have that similar structure here and we kind of play out that impulse, it would be roughly within that 100 to 160K area, aka the wave 5 topping point that I've addressed multiple times. Now, of course, he also is showing us this chart here, which, at this point I find an equal probability between 25K being the low and one more move down to the low 20s. Doesn't matter to me which it is, as I still find the long-term upside asymmetry about as strong as it gets. And here we have this chart. This is the chart that I showed you guys before, where basically we're looking at, where our cycle top would be for this, correction, or this mid-cycle correction. If we're still looking at that, it's between the 100 to 160K area. That would be that wave 5, and that will take our altcoins, with it. XRP, HBAR, Casper, all of them, right? So we're definitely watching this closely to see if this is going to play out, and I want you guys to understand that on this last little impulse that we had above 30K on Bitcoin, I'm sure a lot of you have seen altcoins really kind of take a major, run during that time. That's how fast altcoins really do move when Bitcoin dominance is that high, as it is kind of continuing to, drive up in price. It will take altcoins with it for a little bit until it does take the spotlight, and then altcoins will take the back seat, which basically they are in the back seat right now. But I definitely do want to pay attention to what we are seeing going all the way back to the 2020 timeframe, as you guys do see on this chart, where we had this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That fifth wave is missing. We are basically seeing the fourth wave confirmation here, but we need that wave 5 in order for this to fully play out. And I know that a lot of you individuals out there are probably going to look at this and say, well, I just think that we're in a bear market, I don't want to invest anymore, and that's totally fine. I understand you completely. I get it. I just think that this is a moment in time where we really got to address where we currently are structurally. Of course, economically, I think that we look very bearish in terms of stocks, and I've addressed this. I've talked to you guys a little bit about the dollar itself, right? I charted to you guys the dollar multiple times. We continue to watch this chart specifically for a major sign of weakness. And honestly, this has been extremely strong lately. And I want this to continue to break down so we could have a little bit more breathing room. But it looks like this still wants to go to 106. Now, during this entire time, while we are riding to 106, I mind you, now is not the time to enter into altcoins, because a very similar similar time frame, right? When we go back to this chart, he is saying, we could still have that low of 20s tested. And if we do get that low of 20s tested while we're still sitting around like roughly 47% dominance on Bitcoin, and we have those nice lows tested on Bitcoin, which I've addressed this multiple times as well, where we basically will be channeling these nice lows. We could either test that 27.7K zone, which would be a perfect test of that area, or we could either come down as far as, roughly 23K. I know that 23K has been one area that a lot of people have been calling for, and it's definitely possible. I mean, look at the 23K demand zone around this area. So we could definitely test that zone. I would definitely be, paying attention at this point in time closely to see if we have a daily close around this range. I told you guys, as long as we don't have a daily close below the confluence floor, which is roughly around like the 27.7K zone, I am still, very, well watching the structure and thinking that it is fairly strong. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. I'll set us up that you all have a beautiful day or beautiful night, wherever guys are on this beautiful world. It's been Nick. Peace out, guys.